Today you're going to learn 5 expressions that the Colombian gangster Pablo Escobar would have said. By the end of the video, you will be able to impress all of your Hispanic friends, especially the Colombian ones. And if you guys stay till the end, I will tell you what it was like to grow up in Pablo Escobar's Colombia. And also, how to talk to Colombians about Pablo without offending them. Let's get started. Pablo Escobar was from Medellin, Colombia, the second largest city. And it's also the city where Maluma and J Balvin are from, so at the end of this video you will also be able to speak like them. We call people from this region paisas, and their accent is very particular, it's very musical, or as we say, cantadito. But more than their accents, paisas are recognized for their expressions, and today I want to focus on those expressions so you can actually impress your Colombian friends, speaking just like Pablo Escobar did. Okay, let's get started with the expressions. The first expression Pablo Escobar said for sure, because it's a very signature paisa expression, is Ave Maria pues hombre. I'm gonna try to say it with a paisa accent, and you can repeat after me. Ave Maria pues hombre. One more time. Ave Maria pues hombre. This expression means Holy Mary, and is used the same way as oh my god in the United States, just for emphasis. The second signature expression by Pablo Escobar is Plata. Plata literally means silver, but in Colombia we use it to talk about money. The same way in the United States you say doll. Pablo Escobar's most famous expression was plata o plomo, which meant silver and lead. He used that expression when he was bribing politicians and threatening with them. They either took the money and followed whatever he was saying, or they took the lead, the bullets. More than an expression, plata o plomo was really a policy. A policy that Pablo Escobar carried away in Colombia during the 90s. A lot of politicians that stood up against him were killed, including an incorruptible police officer and even a Colombian senator. The third expression was used more by Pablo's army, his followers, than by Pablo Escobar himself. The next expression is patron, and this means boss. It has a connotation of being something like a badass boss, somebody who's dangerous. As a quick tip, check out the Colombian series El Patrón de Mal, The Boss of Evil, on Netflix. It's a more authentic representation than Narcos, with more precise accents and expressions, and also a story told by Colombians and not by Americans. But it drives me crazy that the main actor of Narcos is a Brazilian guy who tries very hard the paisa accent, but really he just speaks with a Brazilian accent. So if you really want to learn the expressions, check out El Patrón del Mal. I can tell you're already sounding more like Pablo Escobar, or like anybody from the paisa region in Colombia. Okay, let's talk about our fourth expression. This expression is more general to the entire country of Colombia, and I hear it in Bogota with my friends all the time. The expression is sí, okay. And this is a very Colombian way of making a statement a question. The same way in the United States you say right, like for example, this is an American flag, right? Or the same way Canadians say like this is a Canadian flag, In Colombia we say, sí, ok. Esta es una bandera colombiana, sí, ok. This is a Colombian flag, yes or what? Pablo Escobar era muy malo, sí, ok. Using these expressions, your friends won't believe how Colombian you are. We're back in the office for the last expression because this is about to get a little bit personal. The last expression is berraco, and berraco means tough guy. And this is a way that Pablo Escobar wanted to call himself. And sometimes American and even Colombian media portrayed Pablo Escobar as a berraco, a tough guy. But in the eyes of many Colombians, he was not a berraco. So let me tell you my story. This is my story of how it was growing up during the time of Pablo Escobar. As a kid, my family made sure I had the happiest possible childhood. They gave me everything I needed and made sure I was safe. But behind the scenes, there was a lot going on. My family, they were members of the Colombian National Police, one of Pablo's sworn enemies. The 90s were a time of fear not only for the Colombian National Police and their families, it was a time of fear for everybody. There were constant terrorist attacks that Pablo Escobar carried against civilians to pressure the government to follow his policies. I was very young at the time, but I still remember the fear. I still remember the fear that you couldn't really go out in the street, you couldn't really travel. Imagine having that constant fear that something really bad could happen to you. The fear continued when I was more aware. Even after Pablo's death, there was still a lot of danger in Colombia. The drug cartels were dominating, as well as the revolutionary armed forces of Colombia. It is true that Pablo helped a lot of people. He helped some poor people in Medellin, but at what cost? Pablo killed anybody who was against him. He killed civilians. He forced children to commit crimes that would probably traumatize them forever. He would pay kids as young as 14 to kill police officers. He was a psychopath. He tortured and raped people. Pablo created such a strong brand that even almost 30 years after his death, people still relate Colombia to drug cartels and violence. People often the only thing they know about Colombia is Pablo Escobar. For years we have been trying to change this dark past, this dark image of Colombia, and try to rebrand our country as a beautiful place with flowers, music, and wonderful people. And that takes me to how to talk to Colombians about Pablo Escobar. So if you want to talk about Pablo Escobar to Colombians, you have to do it respectfully. Don't paint him as a berraco. Berracos were the people who stood up against him, the people who were incorruptible, even when facing their own death. Also, once you know a Colombian really well, you can ask them about Pablo. A lot of the portrayals that we see are made by Americans or Europeans, not by Colombians themselves. And finally, acknowledge that Colombia is much more than cocaine and cartels. Colombia is a beautiful country, and in fact, I challenge you to visit my country. I challenge you to see all the beautiful things that we have to offer. I also challenge you to subscribe to this channel, because you're gonna keep learning about Hispanic culture in a deep way. And we're also gonna give you some Spanish tips so you can speak the real way we speak. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Give us a like if you did. Don't forget to comment below which expressions you're gonna use and if you would like to hear and learn more expressions from Pablo Escobar. Also, comment below if you have visited Colombia and if you have seen the other face that we have to offer. Again, don't forget to subscribe for more videos about Spanish and Hispanic culture. See you guys next time.